before, like this.
Hey guys, Gaming Dev 7 here, and this is a brand new video on my channel. This will be FIFA 13 predictions, and I'm going to actually feature in this video my favourite club, Manchester United. We'll be looking at some of the brand new players such as Kagawa and Powell, and hopefully some that we can bring in such as Van Persie. We'll be looking at overall changes that could be possible in FIFA 13, position changes, and also the formation, what we could be expecting Sir Alex Ferguson to be playing mostly in the 2012 to 2013 season. So we'll get into the squad now, hopefully you'll enjoy. Okay guys, so we're back, and this is the team which I probably prefer playing for Man U. So we're playing in the 4-4-1-1 formation, which is probably expected by Sir Alex, with Rooney just behind the possible transfer of Van Persie. That is really exciting news if he does come. But anyway, we'll start out from the top. We have David De Gea in net, which I actually rate. I think that he had a really hard season last season, but he began to get a little bit stronger towards the end of the season and pulling off some great saves. If anyone remembers that Mata free kick at Stamford Bridge, that was probably one of the best saves that I've ever seen a keeper make. It was straight into the top corner and he just dived and saved it. He did get downgraded from the start of FIFA 12 and to January. In January he went down to 78, which I thought was a bit unfair, but in FIFA 13 I think that he'll get a strong 80 overall, pretty average for a Premier League keeper. But yeah, I've given him stats such as 81 diving, 81 handling, 84 kicking. His kicking really is a strong point. He's got 82 reflexes as well. I've given him a little bit lower positioning because I think that it's something that he will work on. His positioning sometimes can be off. But anyway, right back. I've actually changed Phil Jones to a right back. I think that he will feature as a right back in FIFA 13. It's either between him or Smalling that will be changed from a centre back to a right back, and I think that he might be able to get ahead of Rafael possibly next season. He's only young. I think that he's still 19 now, but I'm expecting probably around the same stats as what he's got in FIFA 12 at the moment, but he will be pushing up to that 78 overall. But he does grow a hell of a lot in career, so hopefully he can carry on that in FIFA 13 career. But at centre back, I've actually put down Vidic. He had a tough season last season. He was out with that knee injury for most of the season, so I don't think that he will be staying at that 89. I think that he will drop to maybe an 87 or 88. I've put him down to the 88. I think that might have been a little bit unfair to put him down to overall. But hopefully he can find his fitness for the new season and play well for Man U. Next we've got Rio, who is getting on a little bit, but he did probably have one of his best seasons last season. He seemed to adapt his game quite a lot and he was getting a lot of game time. He didn't really get struggled by injury last season, which I found was great, but he's an 84 overall. I think that his speed might go down a little bit. He's got the 61 acceleration there. Some of the stats I haven't changed, but the overalls of the players are what I think they will probably around getting FIFA 13. So we move on to Everett. I've got him on an 84 overall. I think that he'll stay around the same. I'm not sure whether his pace will stay the same or drop, because I think that he's getting around the 31 years of age, and he'll be probably the main left back, which he has been like for the last few seasons. We've got right mid Valencia, who has had an awesome season. He's been probably one of our best players. So I've put him up to an 85 overall. I think that he really is worthy of that 85 overall, and his crossing is unreal in real life, and he's got some good pace in him. He's quite strong for a right mid. He seems to be a very quality guy in real life. We've got Carrick in midfield, which I think will stay exactly the same. I don't think that it'll change around much. I don't think that any of his stats will really change at all. But I think that he's a very steady kind of guy. But he's getting a little bit old, so maybe his pace will go down by a few But the next guy we have got is Kagawa, our summer signing for 17 million, and I've been watching his pre-season games and he has been awesome. I think that he'll probably be the key player, one of the key players for Man U next season, that can hopefully lead us to the Premier League. It'll be a tight race probably between us, City and Chelsea, I'm guessing. Chelsea have got a few good signings and City are looking like they're going up in the world. I'll admit that from last season. But I think that Kagawa can make that difference. He seems to have something a little bit different about him compared to the other centre mids. It is a bit of a mystery still to whether Rooney will play up front. This is if we don't have Van Persie. Rooney could play up front and Kagawa behind him, or will he play the centre mid and Rooney ahead of him? It is a bit of a mystery at the moment to United fans. But next we've got Young, who was an 83 overall, but I've pushed him up to an 85. Some people will agree, some people will disagree, but when I look at other players, I've got to say Young is up there with some of the best, and I think that he was a bit unfairly rated as an 83. And also he only had 3-star weak foot in the previous FIFA, which I think is absolute bullshit, to be honest, because he's right-footed and he plays left mid, and his left foot is actually really good in real life. He seems to whip them in pretty decent with his left foot, and his crossing is epic in real life, and hopefully it will be like that on FIFA. And the front two, which could possibly cause absolute mayhem in the Premier League next season. We have the first one, Rooney, who I have kept the same. All of his work rates the same and his aggression the same. I think that his physical attributes are just about right. I think that everything's pretty accurate for Rooney at the moment on FIFA. So I'm keeping him the same, I'm not changing anything at all. But next we have Van Persie, which I think might just miss out on the 90 overall. He might just get it, I'm not sure. I would probably rate him around the 89, 88, 90 mark. He had an awesome season for Arsenal, but he has requested a move, it seems to be, and Man United look like they'll be the favourites to sign him, and hopefully they do, because if you look at them front two, that will be very scary to other defenders in the Premier League next season. So we move on to the bench next. We have Chris Smalling, which I've put up to a 79 because I think that is maturing now as a footballer. We've got Raphael, who I've put up to a 78. I think that he's had a decent season. He's a lot better at tackling than he was and a lot more disciplined than he used to be in previous seasons. We've got Paul Scholes, which I've dropped to an 80 from an 81 because obviously his passing on is getting a little bit old now, and I don't think that he'll feature as much next season with Kagawa if he does play centre mid. But you know, that still does remain a mystery, so you never know, he could be playing all the games next season. We've got Tom Cleverley, who has just come back from the Olympics. He's had a really good Olympic Games for Great Britain, and I think that he was probably the face of the Great Britain team. He's young and is an ambitious player, is an all-round decent player on FIFA, and hopefully that keeps the same in FIFA 13. So we've got Nani. Now, Nani remains a mystery to me. Part of me says he's an absolute top-class player, and part of me says he's an absolute knob, because sometimes he can be so inconsistent, and I don't think that he'll feature as much next season. I think that Ashley Young will come ahead of him in the squad, and I think that Nani will come on for him later on in the game. Ashley Young seems to get a little bit knackered towards the end of the games. He always gets subbed off when he starts, so I think that Nani will be that guy. Whether he'll be happy with that, I have no idea. Next we have the two strikers, which will obviously be sticking around at Man U for a few more seasons. We have Danny Welbeck, who has had an awesome season. I've put him up from, I think that he was a 76, and I've put him up to an 81. Just below Hernandez's 82 overall, but I do really rate Danny Welbeck. He went to the Euros with England, he scored that nice little back heel of a goal, and that really did show off his talent. He's still got a lot to learn. I think that his goal scoring can be improved on, but he's got the physical ability to be an absolutely awesome player for Man U. Next we've got Hernandez. Hernandez, I've dropped by 1 overall because he didn't seem to score as much this season as he did last. But yeah, I've dropped him down to an 82, but I don't think much will change. His pace will still be high. I just think that his finishing will go down a little bit. We've got Darren Fletcher on the bench, which I've dropped down to a 7 on the reserves. I've dropped him down to a 77 from an 81 because he's just been injury prone all season. I don't think that will ever be the same next season. We have the new boy Nick Powell, which I think that might be a little bit ambitious with his 70. He was an absolute top class player for Crewe last season. He got them promoted from the League Two, and his Wembley goal was unreal. If you guys want to check that out, just type in Nick Powell Wembley goal and you'll be surprised by how good the goal was. We've got Anderson, who will be on the fringe of the centre mid squad. I think that he'll be behind. He'll be definitely behind Cleverley. I think that Cleverley's a little bit better. And Anderson's always been one of them players which has been a little bit inconsistent. There was a bit of a worry about him towards the start of his Man U career, whether he actually wanted to play for us. He was a little bit lazy and he wasn't sure whether he wanted to keep on playing football. So, you know, that's not what you want from a footballer. But he was actually linked with a move away from Man U, but we'll see how that happens. But anyway, we've got Johnny Evans next, which I've moved up a little bit. He featured in the squad a lot last season. We've got Giggs, who I've kept left mid. He might be centre mid in the next FIFA. He seems to be playing centre mid a little bit more. But I've dropped him down to an 83 to an 80 because he is losing it a little bit. Don't get me wrong, he's still probably he probably still is the best player of all time that has played for United, but he's definitely not an 83. I'd mark him at an 80, and he's losing a little bit of pace, but bless him, I think that is 38 or 37 now, and what a legend he's been for Man U. Last player we have is Lindegaard. I'm keeping him at a 78. He could well move up to a 79 or 80, who knows, but he is the second keeper for Man U. And to be honest, I don't like him. He seems to be a little bit arrogant, he seems to be a little bit big-headed. But yeah, that's about all the squad. We've got a few other players like Lingard that will feature in the next FIFA. We've got Tunnicliffe, which are upcoming academy players and reserve players. But anyway, that's been all the video. Hopefully I'm getting the prediction pretty close and hope you enjoyed the video. Please like, subscribe, thank you, bye bye.
Or clap, just as you did before, like this.